Foreign Secretary-level talks were held between Nepal and India yesterday, the first such talks hosted in 20 months. The talks have been billed as significant in serving as a patchwork as Nepal-India relations in the past several months is reportedly in its lowest point, with the rising border disputes between the two countries. Good morning, I'm Abhyuday Shrestha, and these are the headlines of the hour. The first Nepal-India Secretariat-level meeting held in 20 months, both sides hailed the talks as productive. Issues including border disputes, EPG reports, transmission lines discussed. The share market witnesses two new records as the NEPSE index and the single-day turnover touch an all-time high. NEPSE settles at 1,893.24 points. AstraZeneca may run an additional global trial to assess the efficacy of its COVID-19 vaccine after concerns were raised about the effectiveness of its jab. And Arsenal, Leicester City, Roma and Hoffenheim all advanced to the knockout stage of the Europa League. A Foreign Secretary-level meeting between Nepal and India was held in Kathmandu yesterday, the first of such talks hosted in the past 20 months. The meeting has been viewed with significant interest as the two neighboring countries have been at loggerheads at the diplomatic and political levels for the past 1 year. Meanwhile, both the sides have termed yesterday's meeting as highly productive. We have more in this report.
The 2-hour-long meeting between the Nepalese delegation and 6-member Indian team led by Indian Foreign Secretary Shringla dwelt on border issues, reports of eminent persons group representing the two countries, transmission line expansion, among other issues. After the meeting, Indian Foreign Secretary Shringla said that all the bilateral issues of mutual interest were discussed, expressing his belief that the meeting would help in boosting Nepal-India relations.
We had very, very good talks with His Excellency, very productive, and we found that we have such extensive areas of cooperation. We have made very good progress, and we have discussed how to make even greater progress. So very, very productive and excellent start to the visit. Thank you very much.
How many agendas were there?
Agenda was very vast. So all this time we have taken to cover areas of cooperation ranging from the economy to cultural cooperation to infrastructure development. I thanked His Excellency for his hospitality and of course facilitating our very useful interactions.
The meeting at Foreign Secretary level had not been held between the two countries since March 2018. Disputes between the two countries escalated after India included Nepalese territories of Kalapani, Lipu Lake and Limpiathura in its new political map a year ago. Even as Nepal protested against the Indian move, approaching for talks at political and diplomatic level, India had been reluctant to sit for dialogues. The Nepal government, in the meantime, issued its own political and administrative map, including Kalapani, Lipu Lake and Limpiathura, in the third week of May this year, to the strong disliking of the southern neighbour. Likewise, India was not willing to accept the report prepared by the Eminent Persons Group as well. Following the delegation-level meeting, the visiting Indian delegate called on Foreign Minister Pradeep Gewali later in the afternoon. During the meeting, Indian Secretary Shringla handed over 2,000 vials of remdesivir medicine to Foreign Minister Gewali. Indian Secretary Shringla also informed that India would make the COVID-19 vaccine available to Nepal as soon as India got hold of the vaccine. Meanwhile, Indian Secretary Shringla paid a courtesy call on President Bidya Devi Bhandari and Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli later in the evening. The Indian delegation wraps up the visit on Friday.
The coronavirus has continued its surge in the country as 1,614 new cases of COVID-19 were confirmed in the country in the past 24 hours, taking the infection tally to 227,640. The death toll has climbed to 1,412, with 23 more deaths reported in the past 24 hours. The total number of tests through the PCR method has reached 1.7 million, with 9,491 swab samples tested in the past 24 hours. The federal capital reported 785 positive cases, with 620 new cases in Kathmandu district, 114 in Lalitpur and 51 in Bhaktapur. 1,437 individuals registered full recovery in the past 24 hours, taking the national recovery tally to 209,435, while the recovery rate stands at 92%. There are over 16,000 active cases in the country, with 6,218 corona patients in isolation centers, 10,575 in home isolation, and 680 in various quarantine centers. According to the Health Ministry, 56 patients are being treated with ventilator support, while 333 are in ICUs across different hospitals in the country. The share market witnessed two new records yesterday as both the NEPSE index and the single-day turnover touched an all-time high. The overall NEPSE gained 18.43 points yesterday to settle at 1,893.24 points at the end of the last trading day of the week, the highest close in NEPSE history. Earlier, the NEPSE had touched an all-time high 1,881.45 points on 27th of July 2016. The index, which was on a bearish trend for the past several years, reached a new high yesterday. Likewise, the single-day turnover crossed 7 billion rupees for the first time. A total of 17.18 million units of shares of 201 companies were traded for just over 7.61 billion rupees. Nepal Reinsurance Company had the highest individual turnover of over 581 million rupees. The index rose by 51 points to reach 1,926 points in the first 1.5 hours of transaction yesterday. However, in late afternoon transactions, the NEPSE shed some points to finally settle at 1,893.24 points. The Commercial Bank Group and other groups attributed to the overall rise of the NEPSE, even as the indices of insurance, trading, hotel, microfinance and development bank groups lost some points. The Commercial Bank Group gained the highest 37 points yesterday. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked the local residents in Arghakhanchi, why has the local government failed to work against public expectation? Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
दुई चारवटा पार्टी मिलेर एउटै पार्टी भएर के गरेर हुन्छ चाहिँ चुनाव जितिसकेपछि उनीहरू आफ्नो पार्टीगत स्वार्थ मात्र गर्ने अब एउटै पार्टी हो पनि जस्तो पनि नगर्ने
आफ्नो व्यक्तिगत स्वार्थ र आफ्नो क्षेत्रमा गर्ने सबैले हामीलाई भोट दिएका भनेर सबैतिर नहेर्ने
कतिपय प्रतिनिधिहरुमा शिक्षाको कमी छ शिक्षाको कमीले गर्दा समुदायमा गएर भएका समस्याहरू राम्रोसँग टिपेर ल्याउन सक्नुहुन्न
चुनावमा अत्यधिक खर्च गरे त्यो चुनावी खर्च उठाउनलाई के गरेर हुन्छ भन्नेमा मात्र उनीहरू बढी समय खर्चिरहेका छन्
कोही ठेक्कापट्टा गरेका आएर राजनीति गर्न सुरु गरेका हुन्छन् कोही व्यापार बिजनेस गरेर आएर राजनीति गर्न सुरु गरेका हुन्छन् त्यसो गर्दाखेरि उनीहरूले आफूले जुन आफ्नो सानो बचपनदेखि उनीहरूलाई राजनीतिक थाहा नभएको हुनाले उनीहरूले राजनीतिक अहिले गर्न पनि सक्दैनन् र विकास गर्न नि सक्दैनन्
And it's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And here's the question. What should be done to make the Social Security allowance based on self-contribution more effective? Your options are A, make it employee-friendly, B, make employers accountable, and C, government should make it imperative. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And it's time now for the sports news. Maradona was instrumental in Argentina's World Cup football triumph in 1986. The same year, live television screening had started in Nepal. Football legend Diego Maradona has a massive fan following in Nepal as well. Let's take a look at how Nepali players and coaches remember the legend.
आजको मितिसम्म चाहिँ म्याराडोना जस्तो फुटबल प्लेयरै जन्मेको छैन म्याराडोना फुटबलको असाधारण खेलाडी हो जसको कारणले गर्दाखेरि फुटबल विश्वव्यापी रूपमा चाहिँ एकदम अझ बढी लोकप्रिय हुनु नै म्याराडोनाको फुटबलको जुन किसिमले म्याराडोनाको खेल्ने शैली छ त्यसले फुटबललाई नै विश्वमा अझ थप लोकप्रिय गर्न पनि मद्दत पुगेको कारणले गर्दाखेरि म्याराडोनालाई चाहिँ म एकदमै महान खेलाडी सर्वकालीन महान खेलाडीको रूपमा लिन्छु।
उहाँको इन्स्पायरले नै हाम्रो विश्वमा धेरै प्लेयरहरू पनि अझ जन्मेको छ। म्याराडोना जस्तै बन्नुपर्छ, म्याराडोना जस्तै खेल्नुपर्छ भन्ने कुराहरू धेरै नै सुनेको छौँ, देखेको छौँ। त्यसकै ज्वलन्त उदाहरण नेपालमा पनि धेरै नै प्रशस्त मात्रामा भएको छ।
जो मान्छे फुटबल खेलेको छ, फुटबलमा लागेको छ होइन, त्यो मान्छेले अब म्याराडोनालाई सम्झिने बिर्सिने भन्ने नै हुँदैन। म्याराडोना चाहिँ अब एउटा सबैको एउटा मन मस्तिष्कमै बसिसकेको। अझ स्पेसल्ली मेरो आफ्नो बारेमा भन्नुपर्दा चाहिँ हामी बल्ल फुटबल खेल्ने बेलामा चाहिँ हामी चाहिँ म्याराडोनालाई केही नाम सुनेर उहाँको गेमहरू हेरेर चाहिँ हामी हुर्किएको मान्छे होइन। भनौँ न अब हामीले 86 को वर्ल्ड कपदेखि उहाँलाई हेर्न थाल्यौँ। उहाँको जादुईमय फुटबल पनि हामी त्यही बेला 86-90 मा नै देख्यौँ।
And that's all for the moment. Keep watching Kantipur Television HD for more news and entertainment. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.